Welcome, seekers of the truth, to another journey into the unseen world surrounding your very home. You check your camera at midnight. Suddenly, your dog wakes up, growling at an empty, silent corner. Science claims they are just seeing a bug or reacting to ultraviolet light we simply cannot see. But the Bible reveals a much darker, terrifying truth about the spiritual vision of your pets. They lack the Edenic veil of sin covering their eyes. When your dog barks at nothing, it sees a being. Animals perceive the spiritual battlefield that overlaps with our physical reality every single day. Humans lost this primal connection when Adam and Eve were cast out of the Garden of Eden forever. A heavy veil of sin descended upon human eyes, blinding us to the majestic and terrifying unseen. However, the innocent creatures of the earth never committed that original rebellion against the Creator. Because of their untainted innocence, their spiritual vision remains as clear as it was at the dawn of time. Think about the times your cat arched its back, hissing violently at the ceiling for absolutely no reason, or when your loyal dog firmly refused to enter a dark room, whimpering and backing away in pure terror. They are not hallucinating. They are acting as a supernatural alarm system installed by God Himself. They detect entities shifting through the shadows of your house, entities that feed on human vulnerability. To truly understand this terrifying reality, we must look back at a documented ancient encounter. According to the book of Numbers, chapter 22, a prophet named Balaam rode his loyal donkey. He was traveling through the rugged, dusty pathways of Moab, blinded by his own greed and dark ambitions. Suddenly, the beast stopped in its tracks, violently turning off the road and bolting straight into the open field. Furious, Balaam struck the innocent animal with his heavy wooden staff, forcing it back onto the path. But the donkey saw what the corrupted prophet could not see: the towering angel of the Lord blocking the way. The celestial warrior stood with a blazing, unsheathed sword, ready to strike down the disobedient man. Moving further into a narrow path between two vineyard walls, the donkey panicked and crushed against the stone. It pinned Balaam's foot against the rough wall, trying desperately to avoid the fiery blade of the angel. If you were in Balaam's place, would you trust your angry logic or the primal instinct of a terrified beast? Enraged by the pain, the blind prophet mercilessly beat his faithful creature for the second time that day. Finally, in a narrow place with no room to turn, the exhausted beast simply collapsed under its master. Balaam beat her with his staff a third time, completely unaware that his life was hanging by a single thread. Then ancient texts record a miracle. The Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and she spoke to her abuser. She asked what she had done to deserve such brutal beatings after a lifetime of loyal, faithful service. It was only then that God finally opened Balaam's eyes, pulling back the heavy veil of human blindness. The prophet fell face down in the dirt, trembling before the majestic angel holding the blazing weapon. The angel declared that if the donkey had not turned away, Balaam would have been slain right there in the dust. The supposedly dumb animal possessed a higher spiritual awareness than the renowned holy man himself. This historical account shatters the modern arrogance that assumes humans are the ultimate observers. Your pets might be doing the exact same thing right now, trying to shield you from unseen spiritual danger. So, how can you decode this ancient warning system when your pet reacts to the invisible world tonight? Theological scholars suggest we must observe the subtle body language of our animals very carefully. If your dog stares at a specific spot, gently wagging its tail, with ears folded back in a calm submission. It is likely perceiving a holy presence, perhaps a guardian angel assigned to watch over your sleeping family. Animals feel a natural peace and comfort when bathed in the divine light of heavenly messengers. They recognize the pure authority of the Creator's servants, resting calmly in their protective shadow. However, there is a much darker side to this supernatural spectrum that you must never ignore or dismiss. If your dog suddenly cowers, tucking its tail deeply between its legs while shivering uncontrollably. If its hackles rise like jagged spikes and it backs away while emitting a low, guttural, aggressive growl, it is not reacting to a friendly spirit. It is detecting a malevolent, demonic entity invading your home. Dark spirits emit an oppressive, freezing energy that triggers a primal terror within innocent creatures. Have you ever felt a sudden, unnatural chill in your room just before your pet started acting aggressively? Many modern theologians believe that demons often target households by lingering in dark, neglected corners. They feed on your latent anxieties, but the pure spiritual radar of your dog instantly exposes their presence. Just like the demons of Legion begging to enter the herd of swine, dark forces affect animals profoundly. When your cat refuses to enter the basement, sitting at the top of the stairs with wide, dilated pupils, it is sensing a localized spiritual disturbance, a heavy darkness that your corrupted human eyes cannot track. You might laugh it off as animal weirdness, but your pet is fighting a silent battle on your behalf. They are drawing a defensive line between you and the creeping shadows of the abyss that seek to ruin you. The Edenic innocence they carry makes them highly sensitive to the foul stench of demonic corruption. Therefore, brushing off their warnings is exactly what the dark entities want you to do in your blind ignorance. We must humble ourselves and realize that God uses the simplest creatures to confound human wisdom. The spiritual battlefield is not a distant myth. It is happening right inside your quiet living room tonight. The ancient clash of angels and demons continues to echo through the frantic barking of your loyal dog. Do not be like Balaam, blinded by arrogance, rushing headlong into a deadly, invisible spiritual ambush. Your pet's strange behavior is a divine gift, a flashing red light on the dashboard of your spiritual life. Acknowledge their warnings and pray for God's protection over your household and your vulnerable family. The next time you see your dog fixated on an empty wall, pause and consider the vast unseen reality. The veil is thick for us, but the innocent watchers of Eden are always on guard, seeing what we cannot. Trust their vision, for they might just be holding back the blade of judgment or the shadow of the enemy. Never punish your pets when they refuse to move or bark wildly at an empty space in the dead of night. They might have just saved your life from stepping into a catastrophic spiritual or physical disaster. Like Balaam's donkey, their disobedience might actually be the very thing preserving your fragile existence. But God does not only use animals to send us desperate warnings from the other side of the heavy veil. He often uses infuriating daily inconveniences to block our path and alter our tragic destinies. Have you ever frantically searched for your lost car keys, screaming in anger as you miss a crucial meeting, only to discover later that a deadly multi-car pileup occurred exactly on the route you were meant to take? That sudden inconvenience was not a stroke of bad luck. It was a highly calculated divine intervention. The unseen world is constantly pulling the strings, redirecting your steps away from the jaws of absolute ruin. The universe is speaking to you, through disruptions, delays, and the strange behavior of innocent animals. We are so easily frustrated by the physical obstacles that we completely ignore the spiritual rescue mission. God will break your schedule to save your soul, using whatever means necessary to grab your blind attention. It takes true spiritual maturity to look past the annoyance and recognize the hand of divine protection. The angels are actively working, sometimes shutting doors violently, just to keep you from walking into fire. Your delayed flight, your broken down engine, your stubborn dog, these are the echoes of heavenly grace. Do not curse the roadblocks. Thank the Creator for having the mercy to stop you from destroying yourself. There are specific patterns to these divine interventions, signs you can easily learn to recognize today. But you must be willing to open your eyes and let go of the illusion of control over your own fragile life. To uncover these secrets, you must learn to read the subtle language of delays and cosmic interruptions. That lost key was no accident. The universe is leaving you a trail of breadcrumbs to ultimate safety. Click the video on your screen right now. 5 signs God is purposely blocking your path to save you. Discover the supernatural truth behind your daily frustrations before you ignore the next fatal warning. When your dog stares into the dark, is it primal instinct or a truly supernatural presence?
We should reconsider the flanking maneuver.
Share chilling pet experiences in the comments below. What unseen entities do you think they perceive? To uncover biblical mysteries, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel right now.